Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. But before the show, before you got here, Michelle, Jim and I were talking about a story I saw where a guy had inherited like close to 100 guns, and some really nice guns. And he wasn't a gun guy. He didn't know anything about them and didn't want them. So he turned them all into the police department so they wouldn't fall into the wrong hands.
Oh, my gosh.
And they destroyed them.
Of course they did.
It's like, and one of the most telling comments I saw in the story was, who the F would be stupid enough to be into guns like that and then not leave them to someone who knows what the heck they're supposed to do with them?
Right.
You know, and you're going, okay, so reminder to everyone, do not assume that your estate will be dissolved or distributed the way you want. Spell it out, and maybe even, Jim, we all return to this every time, right? Mm-hmm. Give them away before you die.
Yep.
You know, that way you know they go to the right person. You get to tell the story with them. You get to see the enjoyment. And if they don't enjoy it, take it back.
Why wouldn't you? I'll give it to somebody else who appreciates this.
So give me that back.
But why wouldn't you enlist the help of a local gun store?
Yes.
It's what we do all the time.
Yes.
It clears your name, and the person that purchases has to go through the 4473 and the FBI background, yada, yada, yada.
And you can make some money doing that. I mean, and every gun store in the country can do this for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You go to your local gun store and say, look, I was given these guns. I inherited these guns. I don't know what to do with them, blah, blah, blah. I don't want them to fall in the wrong hands. Fine. How about if we make sure the FBI checks out everybody who ends up with these guns? Because that's what's going to happen if a gun store sells them for you.
A local guy or a Johnny Dury kind of guy?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously Johnny will do it. Dury'sGuns.com. I mean, we know how well he does. But a local store like Michelle's, they can do the same thing for you as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, and even if you did, I mean, stores do this. They would, well, I would think most stores would do this, but they'll do a transfer from person to person in the store. You know, they bring it in from one person and send it out with the next as soon as the paperwork is done.
So if you were nervous about, I don't know who's going to get this gun if they are a prohibited person, you can run them through a gun store, and you know they're going to charge you $25 to $50 per gun, probably something like that. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's different, but yes.
Yeah, something like that. Or you could say, hey, would you guys, I've got a whole collection of guns here. I don't want them in my house. But for heaven's sakes, don't just give them to somebody who's going to destroy them. I mean, at the very least, imagine this. If you go through the store and they sell them to somebody, now someone who is qualified can have that gun for self-protection, and it may save somebody's life.
Right.
Yeah. I guess my only question there, Tom, is if the scenario you painted was you potentially giving a gun to somebody you don't know, if they could pass the background check, et cetera. I don't know if I would, even remotely consider somebody I wasn't sure of their background, niece, nephew, or that kind of deal. Mm-hmm. I guess I would have to be pretty confident ahead of time anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd want to, that goes back to know who's going to get them. Mm-hmm. If you're not sure about them, then don't have that as part of your will where just everything gets distributed evenly.
Right.
You go, no, these go to so-and-so, these go to so-and-so. And like I say, why not do it before you croak?
Yep. Yeah, I changed my will a couple of years back.
Oh, thanks,
just
Jim.
One less thing. Yeah, Michelle got everything. She got all my debt.
Actually,
she got everything.
I didn't want your debt.
Jim changed it. He's taking them all with him.
They say you can't take it with it? BS.
So you ought to see the size of this coffin I bought, man. It's actually from Liberty. It's a Liberty safe.
Whatever size coffin you think you need.
It's a 72 gun one.
That's right.
Okay.
So, will that goldenrod rust preventer thing work in there? That's the question.
Yeah, right.
That's really a lockdown puck. You're not retrieving that very easily.
Oh, goodness gracious.